Some people might call me a digital grandmother, meaning I've seen the web grow from the mid-90s, from what's considered Web 1.0, traditional banners and advertising, all the way up to current present day with social media, algorithms, APIs, and also using big data and predictive analytics to help with your marketing campaign. We always talk about this word influencer and someone that has the power to influence a purchase decision or an action in general, and that whole industry has become so much more sophisticated. It's quite frankly a very exciting time in the world of the web today because anybody, your neighbor, your babysitter, someone down the street could influence your purchase, and you don't have to be on multiple social platforms to do that. If somebody has a community, niches are powerful. That niche, that community can really change the dynamic of a business and their sales. And in today's discussion, we'll be talking about that and different strategies and how to do that. That's a great question because especially here in the Middle East, I've come across so many peers who are so excited about social media, but they don't know where to start. Their company's been doing very well for so many years with a traditional marketing platform, but now it's easing into this new world, if you will. A couple of things. First, really understand your consumer first. That might seem like a very simple, basic strategy, but even the most sophisticated companies, it seems, don't take the time to really understand what makes their consumer tick. Understand their daily habits. Do traditional research to get to know the consumer as they live their lives, what platforms they use, what technology they use. That research and the output will then help you determine what social platforms you should start with because you know what your consumers are on. Doing that coupled with looking at your competitors and looking at culturally, I'm finding every country has their own primary use of social media. That should be respected. Just because folks back in the US are using Instagram and Snapchat quite a bit, very powerful tools, that doesn't mean that somebody in Kuwait or in Palestine will use those tools in their daily life. So understanding your consumer and your culture along with your competitors, I'd say the 3 C's, is a great place to start. Good question as well. In many cases, many people assume that B2B is only LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a very, very powerful platform. You can target your advertising for new candidates, folks to recruit. You can also use LinkedIn to promote what your quarterly earnings have been and excitement for the company. However, traditional B2C platforms like Facebook, you could do fantastic targeting within Facebook to find people, even talk to press via social media about what you're doing. A really interesting person or company to look at is quite frankly General Electric, GE. Their use of social media has gone into the realm of B2C. Pinterest, for example. GE's Pinterest boards are phenomenal, and that's a B2B organization. Highly recommend that folks who want to understand B2B social media usage in a traditional B2C world, take a look at GE and don't underestimate the power of targeting your advertising in platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook. I almost wish I could teleport myself with the intelligence and technology we have today back to my early days at Orbitz. We had big data. We had our own warehouse that we built, our own data warehouse. It was somewhat automated, but quite manual. Imagine with big data, you're able to aggregate all of the data points from multiple sources at the company, different stakeholders, different silos, in one place to understand true ROI or understand how the company is doing. You could take the impressions from your PR campaign, the number of times an article was read, how many sales leads you derived, how many clicks came to the website, and put that all in one fell swoop to understand what's happening, not only in present, in real time, but also predict what you should do next. The retailers like Macy's, for example, do a fantastic job with big data, and they're able to, in real time, with real-time inventory, change the pricing of 73 million items because they have that real-time info. Again, I wish I had big data technology today, back in 2001. One thing that's consistent, and I show this in one of my workshops, Facebook is the most prevalent, if you want to call it common denominator social platform around the world. It just is. Everyone in some capacity uses it. Now, Facebook is also changing their algorithms in the newsfeed, whereby we as regular users will start seeing content, and that content from our friends and family, our actual friends, will be at a higher priority. But Facebook still has partnerships and are looking for businesses to advertise within their platform. Facebook has a very, very powerful targeting platform, and I would say to a business, it's worth testing and experimenting. Give every aspect of Facebook a try, not just a regular promoted ad or a targeted ad. Use their custom audiences, use different tools within what Facebook can provide you, and do true A/B testing. Use different ads in Facebook, target different demographics, point them to different parts of your website, to see if that'll work and then move on. But because so many of us are on Facebook at least checking a couple times per day, it's worth understanding if that traffic density for your company, your country, matches the type of marketing you're trying to do for your company there in Facebook. Top two that are always in my book, Starbucks and Zappos. Zappos does, well, as does Starbucks, but Zappos to me really blends the ability to have social media and customer service together. Because as consumers, as people, when we talk to a brand, a company, we don't really associate them with where they are. For example, if I'm tweeting a company or emailing a company, I'm still seeking information from that company, whether it's an answer to a question or understanding what time the hours of operation are. So Zappos does a fantastic job with understanding customer service with social media, but also building a brand and just talking to people and building that relationship. The consumer is so savvy today, incredibly savvy, and I would argue that globally, we as brands and as corporations aren't doing enough to talk back and engage with our consumer in a simple, hi, how are you kind of fashion. It's very powerful to do so. So this is my first time in the Middle East, my first time in Dubai. I've had the most amazing experience, and quite frankly, eye-opening experience as a practitioner and a creature of, as a practitioner and someone who likes to study history and study how people do things differently around the world. I've been excited to talk to people from Kuwait, from Palestine, from the Emirates to understand how you live your life, what platforms you use. It's been an absolute delight to be here. Absolute delight.